Hi, folks, and welcome to another episode of Street Smart Options. It's Jim Bunker here, and I'm with my business partner, Jonathan Sherman. Jonathan's going to be talking about a stock today that we featured all the way back in December of 2017. Now, folks, as I've said many times on our show here, there's a ton of knowledge that comes out of these shows. So if you're not already a subscriber with us, please feel free to do that. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you don't miss any other great stock option videos that we'll be doing here on our YouTube channel. And if you haven't found us on our Facebook group, we're actually at facebook.com/groups/Street Smart Options. And that's the Street Smart Options group. So you actually have to put group at the end there. And last but not least, if you're looking for professional training, my partner's got 30 years worth of training. He wrote for Forbes, and he took a small little investment and turned it into a very, very nice nest egg and investment for him and his family. So if you want to find us on the interweb, in the internets, you can find us at streetsmartoptions.com. Jonathan, you're going to talk about Beigene tonight, BGNE?
Yes, Jim, that's right.
Awesome. Go ahead.
So, Beigene is a Chinese biotech company. And, normally when people think of China, they don't think really of innovation. They think of companies that are manufacturing companies. And that's generally, been the case, that the companies that have grown in China have been historically like these manufacturing companies that, manufacture for the world, right? And so everything you see in the United States and elsewhere is, made in China. But China also, it's a big country, and obviously they have scientists and they have innovation. And this is one company that shines in the biotech space, and it's the largest Chinese biotech company. And the investors, it was blessed by an investment, a partnership with Celgene, a major U.S. biotech company, and they've also have a relationship with Merck. And so the company's a real company, and it was vetted by these major biotechs that did deals with them. So investors and institutional investors took note and have been putting their money into this stock. So we talked about the stock on let's see, it was back in December 21st of 2017, and at the time the stock was in this basing phase. It was an IPO back in 2016, in like February of 2016, and the stock itself, the price just went sideways pretty much all the way into June, July of 2017. And then they entered into a collaboration with Celgene, and the stock really started to move. And the collaboration is a really cool deal for them. Not only was Celgene going to commercialize their products worldwide and make an investment in the company, but they also gave up the rights to Celgene products that the company itself can commercialize in China. So this Beigene company has the exclusive rights to commercialize a variety of commercial products that are not available in China. And so this company is doing that for them. So it was a win-win for Celgene and for this company. Celgene gets some promising new drug candidates, and this company gets a revenue stream from the Celgene products. So now the stock itself was in this long basing pattern into July 2017, and then it blasted off on news of the Celgene collaboration, and it continued up in this big volume and very positive price volume action in the stock. And then it went into this consolidation phase in the end of 2017, and it had a big volume spike in early December. This is the first week in December, and that's when it attracted our attention. We watched these IPOs, and this was an IPO in 2016, but it was still a relatively new company, relatively recent IPO, not that old. And so after investigating and finding out it was this biotech in China, well, that was new, because we're used to like not these companies that aren't really, we don't consider too innovative usually in China. And so we looked at it more deeply, and sure enough, they had the Celgene collaboration and this Merck collaboration, and the stock chart was looking good. It had already shown that it could move it went from 45 to 79, and then from 79 to 118, 119. And then it did this consolidation, and so we got involved in it on this day here when it went over the weekly high from early December, And I think what happened after that is it actually went for a week, it like consolidated for a week, and I'll jump ahead here to this chart here. We were talking about now. This is December of 2018, so right here. And so yeah, consolidated for a couple of weeks here, but then it started to move, and it went from 102 to all the way up to 220 recently in June. And you could have traded in and out of this thing, or stayed in it for the entire ride. We traded in and out. We were in this thing to 142, and then we traded it again, and we were out again in this 170 area. But it was a long ride, and then it broke just recently. But a very interesting company, and options obviously trade on the stock, and it was easy to do a deep in the money call option on this stock. And in fact, options are usually a good idea with these biotech stocks because it limits your risk quite a bit in case there's some bad news event. So we prefer to do options on these stocks. So our risk is defined and not too excessive, because who knows if a bad news event is going to shave 40% off the value of one of these things all of a sudden, right? But this one worked out quite well, and jumping to the actual website, it's Beigene, and you can see they have a Chinese symbol as part of their logo here, and their science is mostly about cancer. They do immuno-oncology therapies and cancer, and if you look at their pipeline, I'm just going to click over here because their pipeline is a little hard to read, but they have these programs that are in phase 3. This is their own technology that's in phase 3, and of course they have the commercial products that they're selling from Celgene, and then they have a whole pipeline of products that are pre-commercial and just clinical phase. But they pride themselves on these small molecule therapies, especially for cancer, and it's an interesting company, and has a promising portfolio of drugs in its pipeline. Of course, these biotech companies are never profitable or in these early stages, and they're spending a lot of money in R&D, right? And look at this company in 2017 spent $269 million on R&D. And of course, I'm not quite sure about that figure. Looking at the Yahoo Finance, I have to dig more into the financial statements of the company, because Yahoo Finance is reporting that same number for 16, 15, 14. So that would have to be confirmed, actually. But they do, spend a whole bunch of money on R&D, all these companies, and so you wouldn't expect them, especially in this early stage, to have any profit, so to speak. But they do have revenue. And part of that is from the license fees, right, from these companies, from Celgene and stuff. So that's not necessarily going to happen over and over again. So there's a lot of one-time license fees and stuff. But they do have some recurring revenue now. If you look at the quarterly, you can see, this is kind of maybe their recurring revenue, more in the $30 million range, which looks more reasonable. That was in the quarter. That was in the first quarter of 2018. So anyway, that's the kind of the scoop on Beigene, and interesting company. And you can find these companies, by doing research on the charts. You look for stocks that have, IPOs, or in this case it was, the IPO screen, and we've been following this company for a while, and look for the price volume action, and find something that looks decent, dig a little bit deeper, see if it makes sense, and take some shares or take some options. Okay, Jim.
Fantastic, Jonathan. Fantastic. So, folks, if you're not doing this kind of research yourself, you can always find this research for free in our Facebook group. Feel free to join us there. And again, if you're really looking for quality instruction, and if you're looking to just step your game up, maybe you're a trader already and you want to enhance your ability to trade stock options and make more profit and have less risk, you can always take a look at us at our website at streetsmartoptions.com. We appreciate your patronage, and we appreciate you for listening. Have a great night.